I think the biggest challenge for search engine marketers or just digital marketers in general over the next 3, 4, 5 years is really integrating at the other end of the funnel, is integrating into sales. And having actually had a sales background, coming originally from sales, I can understand that there's salespeople have different values about a lead gen, right? And the highest value you have for lead gen is when you got yourself, right? You went to a conference, here's these 5 business cards I got. I mean, you have a really good idea about how important those leads are. And I think traditionally still the idea of face-to-face for most salespeople, having talked to someone, having someone actually spent the money to come to an event, that's a high quality lead. And traditionally I think there's always been somewhat of suspicion of some of the leads that came from marketing because they were maybe a little more fluffy, a little less hard and fast, you didn't know as much about them. And the interesting thing is now with search, because we can reach into that buying process and actually get to B2B people and the C-level people in a place where we really weren't able to get to them before earlier on. I think there's the challenges now is how do we get that C-level, B-level actual decision maker lead to sales in a way where we can convert at a high rate. And that's the biggest challenge. To me, that going forward, I think that's the biggest challenge for all of us in digital marketing, to try to make that connection, whether that means more marketing to that person, more touch points before sales, or even just feeding sales the information that happens. I mean, I think to me, marketing nirvana as a marketer and a former salesperson is if I can tell even someone who has has a Chevron or has a really high value account, I can say, hey, did you know that this account, they've been looking at these white papers and these videos over the past 2 months. So when you go in to talk to them, this is where their interest is. You can go right to that. I mean, that's valuable, incredible information you can hand off to the salespeople beyond just a lead gen. That's the biggest challenge, right? That other end of the funnel, getting sales to buy into what we're doing, getting them to value the leads that we're driving, making sure that they influence what happens to those, what touch points do we hit, when do we hit people, at not just the first time, but the second time and the third time. When do you get back to somebody? And when they're looking for something or looking for something else, make sure we get them the right information at the right time to make sure that their experience is great and that we're arming the salespeople with as much information as we can. That's like the next stage, I think, for search engine marketing. We talk a lot about the top of the funnel. I think that connection with the back end of the funnel is kind of the next frontier of what's going to happen in SEM.